everybody, what's going on? Kyle-chan here, and welcome back to another review on Something New Otaku. And today's review is of the OVA movie, Munto 2 Beyond the Walls of Time. This is the second movie for this series, and I have to say, it's the weaker of the two. I really didn't enjoy this one as much as I did the first one. But before I get into the review, and before I talk about what happened in this film, I really need to discuss a little bit about what happened in the first one so that you guys have some context to really understand the Munto series. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who have never heard of it before. So I'm just going to go into that really quick before I get into this. So Munto is about the title character, Lord Munto, who is this king of this magical realm. And this realm is separated from our world by space and time. So normal people just can't see it. But there is this one girl named Yumemi who can see it, and she's been able to see it ever since she was little. And everyone thinks she's crazy, that, she's making it up just to get some attention, but she's the only one who really sees it. And that's actually important that she is the only person to see it, because without her, our world would be screwed. So anyway, in the first film, Lord Munto decides to come to our world to get Yumemi's help, because in their world, they live off this energy called Akuto. And in the first movie, that energy was slowly disappearing. And the pillars that held up their world were starting to crumble. And without the pillars, their land would fall, hence a lot of destruction. So Lord Munto went to our world to get Yumemi and ask for her help. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say about the first movie. That's all you really need to know. So let's get into the second film. It's been about a year since Lord Munto came to our realm to ask Yumemi for help. And you'd think, after the first film, everything should be solved. The Akuto is flowing again, the worlds are secure, everything should be fine. But that's not the case at all. The people of this magical realm were so used to not having so much Akuto around. When they found out that it was flowing again and that it was in abundance, they actually became afraid of it. And battles and conflicts emerged from that fear. Lord Munto was trying to do everything in his power to stop all these battles. He joined them, and no matter what he did, things weren't getting resolved. He knew deep in his heart that the only way to stop these battles was to get Yumemi involved. But after the first film, and after they had touched to save each other in the space-time gap, they had shared each other's memories. So he was reliving her childhood memories while she was reliving his. And because of all that, he didn't want to get her involved again and ruin her existence. He wanted no part of that. But he knew that was the only way to do it. Lord Munto is just a very stubborn person. So we also get a glimpse of another one of the characters we met in the first film, and he has a big role in this one. His name is Gus, and he is the guardian of this space-time barrier that keeps our world separate. And his job is to keep people away from it and not let them pass. Or he can do so. He can let people pass and, do what they have to do. So he decides that the only way anything's gonna get solved is to send Lord Munto down there. Again, when Munto gets there, he is just so stubborn. He will not ask Yumemi for help. Even though she is there, he wants no part of it. So the battles are continuing. We see glimpses of everyday life for Yumemi and all this other stuff. And eventually, Yumemi is like, I have to do something. Something is not right. And she wants to face the unknown. And she gets to this destroyed park, and she sees Lord Munto there, and she's practically begging him to let her help him. And for a while, he's just like, don't come over here, I don't want your help, all this other stuff. And eventually, he gives in, and the two of them disappear. They go together, past the barrier, and I guess they're gonna solve the issue. That's where the movie leaves off. There is no real conclusion. We don't know if the battles ended, we don't know if the magical kingdom was saved, we know nothing. So that's why this film is a lot weaker than the first film, because at least in the first film there was a conclusion. Everyone was happy, the world was saved. Not in this one. So we're left wondering what really happened after that. Overall, the voice acting in this one was less awkward than the first one. Because when I first heard the voices of Lord Munto and Gus, I was like, this is so weird. I'm hearing Sean Schemmel, the voice of Goku, and I'm hearing the voice of Yami from Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm like, this is just so weird. This is just so utterly weird. But this time it wasn't as awkward for me. So the voice acting grew on me over the two films. So that's a plus. If I were to give this film a grade, I would probably give it a 5 to 5.5 out of 10. And the reason for the low grade is because of the story. It just wasn't there for this film. They had battles, they had a possible solution, but they really didn't have a conclusion. So it was kind of lackluster for me. Everything else about this film is still pretty good. I like the animation, the voice acting, the music, all that stuff was good. But the story just wasn't there. So that's my only real problem with this film. I wouldn't highly recommend it. It's not one of those films that I would say, go out and get this. You really need to see it. It's one of those things I would kind of recommend, but not highly. So those are my thoughts on Munto 2 Beyond the Walls of Time. I really think that this could have been a longer series. It could have been somewhere from like probably 12 episodes. Probably a 12 episode series. They could have managed that. I think that would have been cool to see. So those are my thoughts on Munto 2. Hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!